Hello everyone who's clicked on this video. If you don't know, I talk about NFL football, and today I'm going to give my predictions for the NFC. In my previous video I talked about my predictions for the season for the AFC, for the season coming up. So if you haven't watched that, click on my channel and give that a watch if you could, that'd be great. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the NFC today. So we'll start off with the NFC East, and we'll start off with who I think is going to win the division. That's the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, they paid a lot of guys over the summer. Not paid Dak yet, but Zeke obviously got his money and he's a massive part of that offense. The numbers, Dak's numbers without Zeke on the field and when he is on the field, is a very big contrast. So it's very important for them to get him signed and give him his money. I know a lot of people say that the running back position is overvalued, but you can't deny the facts with Dak's numbers, with Zeke on the field and when he's not on the field. Yeah, I think they got a real good shot of going on a deep playoff run this year. Like their roster a lot. Dak, I like him a lot. Sometimes he's not that accurate throwing down the field, but he's a proper gamer to me. When the game's on the line, it's the last few minutes of a game, you can only feel like he's going to do it when he's got the ball in his hands. He scored quite a few fourth quarter touchdowns over the last few years whilst I've been watching. And yeah, not bad for a 4th round pick, I suppose. He's going to cost an absolute fortune when they do come to pay him. Yeah, if they can keep that O-line healthy, which was a bit of a problem last year, quite a few injuries throughout the whole season, and yeah, that will obviously help as well. But I do like their defense quite a lot. They've got some real talent on defense, especially that linebacker group. Sean Lee, Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith. They're a good bunch. It wouldn't surprise me if you see them all three on the field at the same time throughout this season. And yeah, they're very good players, although Sean Lee can never seem to stay healthy himself, can he? But yeah, I like the Cowboys this season. I think they're going to go 11-5, 12-4. Wouldn't surprise me. And yeah, I've got them in the division. Talk about the Eagles. Now the Eagles are set up to win now, aren't they? They've got everything they need, I suppose. Their front line on their defense is good. The back end, I'm not quite sure about their depth, and they were struggling last season with injuries with their defense. But yeah, for me, it all comes down to Carson Wentz if he can stay healthy. Obviously, he's been well documented the last couple of seasons. He's had quite serious injuries. Like I said in my previous video, Nick Foles obviously came in and did a great job when he was injured, but they haven't got that security blanket this year. Obviously, in the off-season, they're saying he's put on muscle, he's as healthy as you can get. But when you start getting hit by big guys, that's when you can start. That's when you know if you're healthy or not, because yeah, last couple of years he's had some nasty injuries, and be interested to see if he can stay healthy throughout the year. Hopefully he can. In my opinion, they got one of the best O-lines, top 5 maybe. And yeah, if Wentz can stay healthy, especially with the deep threats they got with bringing in Deshaun Jackson now, and they got their big receiver Alshon Jeffrey, and they could make some noise. Personally, I think they won't win the division, but yeah, it'd be good to see them back to full strength. And obviously, their coach, he's great at play calling, isn't he? So he's never shies away from going for it on a 4th down, which is always fun to watch. But yeah, the final 2 teams in this division, obviously the Giants and the Washington. I think that with the Giants, probably see their new quarterback Daniel Jones is it. It wouldn't surprise me if he's starting week 5, week 6. Eli, from when I've started watching NFL, has just deteriorated quite badly, really. Obviously, I've watched previous videos on YouTube of him when he went on those Super Bowl runs, and he doesn't look half the quarterback now. Wouldn't surprise me if week 5, week 6 they bring Daniel Jones in, and obviously they got Saquon as the running back. Absolute machine, that guy. If he can stay healthy throughout this year, he can break some serious records, because the amount of touches that he's going to be getting, Yeah, he's going to have a lot of the ball in that offense. Washington, they're a bit meh to me. They're in the middle of a rebuild, but are they? I don't know. Can never figure out with that team. I can't see either of these two teams making any noise, to be honest. 4, 5 or 6 wins, both of them. I mean, if Washington win 5 games, I think that could be a good season for them, because I don't think they're very good at all. Wouldn't surprise me if they're picking in the top 3 next draft. Yeah. So I've got the Cowboys winning that division, Eagles second, and then the Giants and Washington nowhere, in my opinion. So the NFC North, we'll start off with the Packers and the Bears, who obviously played on Thursday night in what was a horrendous game. The punters were probably the best players on the pitch. That Packers punter looks decent, doesn't he? How high he got his legs, unreal. But yeah, what the hell was that from Mitch Trubisky? Jesus Christ. Didn't play very well at all, did they? And there was a couple of games like that last season where it just wasn't working on offense. Obviously, their coaches obviously put them in a good position last year to win however many games they won. Was it 12? 11? 12? Can't quite remember. But obviously they made that playoff run, only got eliminated through the double doink. And the biggest cheer of the night in that game was when the kicker put his first field goal through. But yeah, Mitch Trubisky, I mean, that was shocking, in my opinion. And to be honest, Aaron Rodgers didn't look that great either. I know he went on that touchdown drive, but he looked like he wasn't trusting his O-line to me. He was kind of patting, stepping up in the pocket, and then he had some downfield receivers getting a bit of separation, but because he was so worried about looking at his O-line, making sure he was getting blocked, he didn't play that great, but it's the first week, and it's only going to get better for them, I'm sure. And it was good to see our defence playing well, because for quite often Aaron Rodgers has been keeping him in games where their defence haven't made a play all day. So if he can get a defence with him, you never know what he could be capable of. Obviously, highest passer rating in all time, hasn't he, in the NFL? So it'd be interesting to see how they got on the season. Vikings. Now, one thing about the Vikings, I do really like Kirk Cousins. I think he gets a lot of stick, which is unwarranted in my opinion. I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. Obviously, the Vikings felt that as well. They paid him all that money. But yeah, I like Kirk Cousins a lot. And with Stephon Diggs, and Adam Thielen, got one of the best wide receiver duos in the league. And I think the Vikings can make some serious noise this year. Their defence, they're always well coached on defence. Obviously, Zimmer's a defensive-minded guy. And if they don't get to the playoffs this year, you never know what's going to happen. They might make a coaching change, because there's a lot invested in this team, and a lot of their players are in their prime right now, and it needs to happen for them right now. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to watching Kirk Cousins this year, because I think he's very underrated, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's in the top 5 in passing yards this year. And finally, with this division, the Lions. I don't rate them at all. They've got no identity to me. Obviously, they drafted the tight end in the first round out of Iowa, is he? He looks like he could be a player, but yeah, I don't really know what they're trying to achieve with this team. And they've got a few more tight ends in free agency as well, haven't they? Spent quite a bit of money on quite a lot of stock on the tight end position this off season, so they're going to become a run heavy team. I don't know. They got Kerryon Johnson to be the running back. I like him a lot, actually. I think he's quite a good running back, but I don't see this team doing much this season. I mean, if they win 6 games, it'd be surprising to me. And how long will Matt Patricia last, I don't know. So yeah, for that division, I've actually got the Vikings winning it, the Bears coming in second, Packers, then Lions in my opinion, but you never know. So NFC South, it's only right to start off with the Saints. After how they went out last season, the famous missed call which brought the rule change on. With them, it'll be interesting to see how they do get on in their first game. But it seems to me they've put a lot of stock in this missed call, and they've been talking about it all off season. And with these sorts of things, I feel like a team could be overly invested in those sort of things, and it could be to their own detriment, because I think they're putting too much attention on this. They're not focusing on the future. You can't do anything about it now. I mean, they got lawsuits still. I don't know if that lawsuit's still going over there, but yeah. I think with those sorts of things in sports, especially in elimination games, you've just got to put it behind you immediately, and there's nothing else you can do now, is there? And they need to focus all their attention on this season. With Michael Thomas, I think he's quality. That's not saying something that everyone already doesn't know. He doesn't seem to drop a ball, does he? He's quality. But yeah, see how they get on. Obviously, they got Taysom Hill. See what sort of plays they put him in this year, because they throw some wild packages and even took Drew Brees off the field for some passing plays, which is a bit weird to me, but whatever floats your boat. And yeah, because I feel like they're going to be overly invested in that whole thing that happened last season, I've actually chose the Falcons to win this division. I like the Falcons a lot. And one thing with the Falcons, they've got so many games in domes this season. I think the first 9 maybe. And Matt Ryan, when he plays in the dome, having looked at red stats on it and all that, he seems like to go from a good quarterback to a great quarterback when they play in the dome. And if they can go in their first 9 games 7-2, I mean, they might be putting some pressure on the Saints. I'm not saying they will do that, but if they can start off with that sort of record, they're putting some serious pressure on the Saints and the Panthers to win the division. But yeah, again, with that, it's that defense. Dan Quinn, obviously defensive coach. Can he get this defense playing to the level they did when they went to the Super Bowl? I don't know. Last 2 years, I know they've had some key injuries over the last few years, and I'm pretty sure they've got everyone back for this start of the season. Wouldn't surprise me if it took them a few weeks to get going on defence, because obviously they've been playing for the last couple of years and they've not had all the pieces on together. But yeah, I've got the Falcons winning this division, and I really like their chances. But obviously it's not going to be easy. It's a tough division, and they've got the Panthers in that division as well. When Cam is at full health for the Panthers, he's near enough impossible to stop, in my opinion. And with Christian McCaffrey alongside him, that running threat from both of them that's elite, that is, in my opinion. I mean, Cam Newton is an absolute unit. And Christian McCaffrey, runs CMC. He's going to get some serious yards this season. Be interesting to see what sort of packages they run. I can see him probably line up in the slot quite often this season, getting quite a few receiving yards. It wouldn't surprise me if he had over 2,000 all-purpose yards this season, because he's their key player on offense. But yeah, their defense should be fine. Panthers, obviously Luke Kuechly he's the key player for them. And can he stay healthy? I mean, he's had quite a few concussion problems over the last couple of seasons, ever since that Super Bowl run, really. But yeah, can he stay healthy? I'm not so sure. But yeah, he's definitely their emotional leader on defense. Gets everyone going. And then finally in this division, Tampa Bay. It's going to be interesting to see what Bruce Arians does with Jameis Winston, because I think Bruce Arians was a big fan of Jameis for many years, even when the draft process was going on. And I think he's always wanted to work with him. But this is a make or break season for Jameis Winston for me. I think he's due for an extension at the end of this year after his rookie contract's up. And I personally don't see Tampa Bay keeping him on if he doesn't have a good year this year. I mean, he makes so many silly decisions when he's playing, and you can see he's got all the raw talent, the athleticism, and the arm strength, but he just seems to make stupid decisions every single time I watch him. And as an NFL team, you've got to decide whether you're going to bite the bullet and get rid of him, or maybe if they offer him a contract to not a very high salary, I don't know. But Jameis can't be expecting to get that big quarterback money in the off-season because he just hasn't done it, and they're wasting away years of their key talents, in my opinion. Mike Evans, top receiver. OJ Howard is very promising up-and-coming tight end. But if the quarterback ain't doing it right, then it doesn't really matter what numbers they get because they're going to end up losing games from silly turnovers. And it's not just interceptions, it's always fumbles, and he's trying to do too much. But yeah, I can't see the Tampa Bay and Jameis eating many W's this year. 5-6 wins. That's what I've got them winning, especially in this division. So I've got the Saints winning this one. Not the Saints, the Falcons winning this division. Saints coming in second. Panthers, maybe a tight, close third. They might even push for second with the Saints. And then the Bucks coming last in this division. So finally, we'll talk about the NFC West. And it's only fair to start with the Rams in this one, obviously Super Bowl runner-ups. And yeah, for some reason, for me, it feels like the Rams are almost, the Rams are almost being slept on for this season. I haven't really heard much noise about them in the off-season. And yeah, I think they're going to win a serious amount of games this year. Obviously, they haven't really lost many major players, and obviously they got the genius of Sean McVay on that offensive side. So obviously Jared Goff's just been paid, getting it done nice and early before these other guys get their contracts. I like that. And yeah, they can win so many games just through the excellence of the coach. And yeah, I feel like I've personally got them winning 13 games this year. That might be a bit of a reach. But when you've got talents like Aaron Donald on defence, I mean, I'm not saying something that everyone who watches NFL doesn't know. Absolute monster, game wrecker. One of the best defensive players I've ever seen since I started watching NFL, probably the best. What he can do from the line of scrimmage, his get-off is so fast. I mean, and no one can stop him. You have to send a triple team his way sometimes because he's an absolute unit. And yeah, I've got them winning 13 games this season. They're winning the division. Now with the Seahawks, personally with the Seahawks with me, I don't see all the hype about them, to be honest. Yeah, I don't see. I got the Seahawks winning 8 games, maybe 9. Yeah, I'm not. I don't see it. On offense, I know they drafted DK Metcalf. Is it? He's massive, isn't he? And he's meant to be quite quick, but I don't see any game changers on that offense. Obviously, Tyler Lockett's now the number 1 receiver apparently, and if he's your number 1 receiver, I don't see how far you can go. Obviously, they've lost Earl Thomas on defence, and it's not just his production on the field that I think I miss, it's his leadership as well. But having said that, I think the numbers are staggering when he's on the field and when he's off the field. The amount of interceptions that team got when he was playing, it's just because he's so elite at his position that the quarterbacks are always wary of whereabouts he is, and it causes them to maybe take that extra half second to make a decision, and before you know it, it's too late. But yeah, I've got them going 8-8, 7-9, maybe 9-7 in that range. Anyway, I may be made to look quite foolish by the end of the season, but yeah, that's my opinion on them. The 49ers, obviously, if Jimmy G stays healthy, you can only imagine they're going to win games. I'm not so certain that Jimmy G isn't a bit injury prone, to be honest. I mean, he even got, when he stepped in for Brady a couple of seasons back, he got injured. Then he's been injured last season. Obviously, had that great run when he first arrived at the 49ers to start his career off for them. But yeah, if they the thing is, they have so many injuries on defence, and if they can stay healthy, I mean, they could be a very good team. Obviously, they've still got Richard Sherman there, leading their defence. He was a great character guy, in my opinion. And obviously, they've just drafted Nick Bosa. I mean, if he can stay healthy, which seems to be a problem for him and his brother, I'm not sure if that just runs in the family or not, but if he can stay healthy, and obviously, yeah, he missed college last season, he's been injured in the off-season and all these things. But yeah, if he can stay healthy, which I've just said 4 times, he can have a great season. And that 49ers is very young, and they've got some very good players. It's just putting all the talent together and making some noise. See how Shanahan gets on, because Nick Mullen played well last season, and CJ Beathard had a few good games, so he can make these quarterbacks with less talent than Garoppolo look good. So what can he do with Garoppolo? It's only time will tell, and we'll get to see that. And then finally in this division is the Cardinals, last but not least, leave the best to last. Yeah, obviously with the Cardinals, they're very much in a rebuild. I think their fans have accepted that, and most of the people in the NFL realise that. And obviously drafted Kyler Murray, the number 1 pick this year, which was very interesting. Obviously, they had drafted Josh Rosen last year. Didn't really get given a chance, and he didn't really get much to work with, did he, Josh Rosen? But it'd be interesting to see how Kyler Murray gets on, because obviously, because Baker Mayfield done so well last year, the teams are now more likely to give a chance to a smaller quarterback. But Kyler looks a lot smaller than Baker to me, but I mean, I think on the official listings, it's not that much in it, which is a bit surprising. But obviously, they've got Cliff Kingsbury in to be the head coach, which was a big surprise to everyone when it first happened. Obviously, he hasn't got really that much experience. He was at Texas Tech, wasn't he? Then he went to go to UFC to be the offensive coordinator, was it? And then he's come here. So, it'd be interesting to see how they get on. But the thing is with the Cardinals, they haven't got that much talent, have they? I mean, Paul Fitzgerald's still there. I mean, he'll get his numbers, he always does, and it'd be good to see if he can get a good relationship going with Kyler Murray, because I'm sure he could feed him the ball downfield a bit. So I've got, in that division, I've got the Rams winning it quite comfortably, in my opinion. It wouldn't surprise me if the 49ers did come second in the division this year, to be honest, and then Seahawks third, with the Cardinals coming in last. So that's everyone covered in the NFC. Hope I haven't bored everyone to death. So to finalise, we've got the Cowboys, Vikings, Falcons and the Rams winning their divisions. And I've got the Saints and the Bears getting a wildcard spot. If you haven't watched my previous video in the AFC, I talk about who I feel is going to win their divisions. And as for Super Bowl picks go, I've actually got the Rams getting back to the Super Bowl and playing the Chargers, which may surprise people. But I got the Chargers winning it all, so the Rams being the bridesmaids again. But yeah, I really like the chances of the Chargers this year. Obviously, Phillip Rivers hasn't got that many years left in him, but I think they're set up to win right now. Obviously, a lot can change throughout the season. one injury here, one injury there, your pick can be completely ruined. But I feel quite confident with the Chargers winning it this year. Obviously, they've got a tough division, haven't they, with the Chiefs in, so they'll be looking to win that and avoiding a wildcard spot. But yeah, I've got the Chargers winning the whole thing this year. So as for videos in regular season, I'm going to be aiming to upload a video every Tuesday after the weekend slate of games and after the Monday night game. So record that video on the Tuesday, get it up. And then also a video on the Friday. Yeah, we'll get up on the Friday. So we can have a little review of the Thursday night game. And then preview the weekend's football coming up. It may not be... sorry, I just heard someone whistle. But we preview the games coming up. Obviously won't preview all of them. Just pick 5 out maybe. best 5 of games of the weekend, in my opinion. And then we'll go from there. If you have enjoyed this video, if you could like it, that would be much appreciated. And if I've underestimated your team, who do you support and how do you think they're going to get on? Are you a Seahawks fan? Not very happy with what I've predicted for this season? Then let me know. I'm open to all engagement. If you agree with something I said, if you don't agree with something I said, I'm more than happy to speak to anyone. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoys the weekend's games, and I'll speak to you all next week. Ta-da.